What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be sharing information on how to contact the VA Regional Loan Center. So this is specific to using your VA home loan, or if you own a property with your VA home loan and you may be having financial difficulties, and the reasons why you would call the VA. All that we're going to go over right now. So bear with me while I pull it up. All right. So I'm also going to link this down below. So you have a couple things that are going to be factored in here, and I'm going to talk about the ServiceNow Portal as well here shortly. So the VA used to have all different types of numbers that you can call based on the different regional loan center that you wanted to connect with. And instead, what they decided to do is that if you want to reach out to the VA Regional VA Home Loan Guarantee Program, you can just call the 877-827-3702. Also, it looks like they've actually expanded hours, because we used to like 4 p.m. They're cut off. So it looks like they expanded by an hour. So from 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now I'll tell you guys this. It's, calling the VA, it's not like calling the IRS from my experience, where you have a ridiculous long hold time. Normally when I call the VA on different types of issues, we can get a hold of them right away. And one of the reasons that we call the VA is on the eligibility component, which is that next part on why you would call the VA, right? So most consumers don't realize that if you're having issues with your transaction, you can actually reach out to the VA to see if they can help. If you have questions about the VA home loan, you can call them and they'll walk you through it. It could be as simple as the eligibility piece, right? You need help getting your certificate of eligibility. They can help you through that. You can submit all your documents. Plus, for the certificate of eligibility, you can go to va.gov and request that yourself. I believe that it is also here on the top right that you can go to. So when you go to the va.gov website, then you can navigate to the home loan piece for this. But again, if you have issues, if you want to talk about assumptions, eligibility, all of that, you can call the VA Regional Center for. Now, the construction and evaluation team, we do reach out to them actually quite often when we do VA condo approvals. That's, we have a portal the lenders have that submit the information to the VA. And then we then submit a support ServiceNow ticket, like we talked about up top. And I'll also talk about that in the next document we're going to go over, because it actually is a phenomenal tool. And we ask for updates for the VA condo approval. If we have issues with an appraisal, that's who we reach out to. So if you're running into an issue yourself, right, you're not working with us, you're working with someone else, you can also reach out to the VA. And again, it's that same 877-827-3702 number. There's going to be different options. They'll ask, are you a veteran? Are you a lender? And then we'll kind of go through the different options that exist. You have also specially adapted housing. So if you have questions around those types of grants, then you can also reach out to the VA at that number. Now, if you are trying to use the NADL program, which is the Native American Direct Loans Program, that is a completely separate department. I want you guys to remember, the VA does not do mortgages except for the NADL program. So for the vast majority of veterans out there, they're using individual banks or brokers, whatever you get your VA home loan from. That's who you're using, right? They're not, because this is my personal experience, because I get text messages all the time about, hey, refinance your VA home loan, and then they really are pretty vague on the information they put in that text message, and I feel like but they definitely will mention like, oh, we're partnered with the VA or something with the VA, and they don't disclaim that they are not part of the VA. As long maybe on print advertisement you'll see that, but on some of the text messages I've been getting personally, I haven't seen that on there. Now, for loan administration purposes, like if you're having trouble making your VA home loan payments, you have questions about loss mitigation, right? So that's a lot of people I know that are worried about the VAST program going away. It makes sense that that you would be worried about that. But there is a replacement program that was announced not that long ago. So I'm going to drop a video here shortly on that. And then also remember, I believe there's like 84% of people that are in a foreclosure process with the VA due to some of the COVID-19 things that happen could actually sell their property and make a profit because values have gone up over so much over the last 5 or 6 years. So it is something to consider. Also, if you're going to take a look at the top right, the right section, there's different resources like VA buyer's guide, how the process works, all different stuff related to the VA home loan. So let me switch over to a update that they did make, and I want to share with you that they made as of last year. So primarily, what they did is like I mentioned, is they changed the way that the VA functions, where now you can actually call a number, and then they'll actually connect you to the regional loan center. Now, but if you may be in an area where a regional loan center exists, and this is where they exist, and I'll also drop this down below. So depending on where the jurisdiction is, right, the state that you're in, you'll have a VA regional loan office. Now, from a lending perspective, I would say, right, when we call, because we call the VA all the time, one, they're really good. Majority of the time, I enjoy talking with them. They are very knowledgeable about the process. They help us, like actually help us and you as a veteran to, overcome challenges maybe from I'll say, let's say, I'll give you an example. We'll have sometimes an issue where the VA says you could do something, but a lender or an investor says you can't do it. So what do? Right? We actually write to the VA. We call them first, confirm. They'll listen to our explanation. They're like, yes, this makes sense. Go ahead and submit a support now ticket. We do that. We get an email confirmation from them. We then submit that to the underwriter, and then they will accept that. That's not how it normally works. Same thing goes for, let's say, what's another good one? Okay, so let's say there's some repair items that are needed based on the appraisal, and it's holding up the purchase transaction. We never like to see that. And some buyers are willing to say, you know what? I want to do the repairs after closing and not burden the seller because they may cancel the contract, right? So not an attorney, but some lenders could do escrow holdbacks, but they may say no, right? So then the lender does the same thing. They contact the VA. They're like, yes, talk to the construction and evaluation team. Then we submit that document. We send the appraisal to them. And then we also ask a letter from the buyer to say, hey, look, I want to do this work myself. Then they send us back a waiver saying, yes, the veteran is able to do these as a part of an escrow holdback. Now, will the lender do it? That's one part. And two, you also have to have a lot of title companies won't do escrow holdbacks. So it has to go back on the lender. So you just be careful when you're going through that process. If you think you may have issues, make sure that you address them up front and go through that with your lender. Like, hey, we may have to do an escrow holdback. What does that process look like? So you get that. But again, these are all different areas. So if you live in the area, you can actually go to the regional loan office to be able to connect with them. Now, let me quickly touch on this ServiceNow request, which is a way to get information from the VA in writing, right? And so for us, a lot of times, anytime that we submit documents to the VA, we will submit a support now ticket because it moves it along faster. You're a veteran, you may be going through loss mitigation, right? Maybe a foreclosure process where you want to get information and you want to get that in writing. Again, another great way to submit your information to that. And I'll promise you that, I don't know of a single veteran that even knows what a ServiceNow request is. And I'm sure there's a lot of veterans out there that just they've never even seen that. But again, my experience working with the VA has been pretty great. They normally get back to us very fast. Even condo approvals have been relatively quick. And I'll tell you that that's where the big changes with, I would say in the service level across the country in the different regional loan centers, it's going to be their construction and evaluation team. That's where we really seen the difference, right? Where, for example, with condo approvals, we may see in one area like 2, 3 days, like it's quick. And in another, it'll take the full 30 days to do. And it doesn't have to do that. Submitting those ServiceNow tickets helps that process move along much quicker for you to be able to get into that dream home that you want. Don't let people tell you that you can't use the VA home loan. Make sure you do the research yourself, or at least look at the proof. If you're concerned about your time and service and really getting your certificate of eligibility, go to the va.gov website. You guys can schedule a call with me. I can request that for you. Sometimes it's a bit more involved, especially if you're trying to like use the new National Guard benefit where you can use Title 32 orders as long as you meet certain criteria to use your benefit. Okay, well, that will require gathering some paperwork. And we've also seen veterans get denied from the VA for some of these like breaks in service and things like that. And then we'll come in and help piece that together and help you out with that. If you guys are interested, there's a link down below to schedule a call with me. Even if you're in the middle of a transaction, you're like, man, I just want to know what's going on. Lender's not communicating with me. I could literally spend 5 minutes with you and be like, all right, this is how you could structure what you're looking to do. So you're just not stressed out, because the home buying process is stressful as it is already. So make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Share the video with the veteran community. The more information we get out to our fellow brothers and sisters, the better we're off in making good financial decisions. So I'll catch you guys in the next video.